So I will review what we spoke a little bit about yesterday, inshallah, and we'll carry on in the listening part. Again, uh, listening is one of the most important skills that is needed for any help desk or any technician that work in the IT, because you have to deal with customer. And to be honest with you guys, most of you are in the student in the software track. You guys might need it even more than the rest of the guys as well, because in many cases, especially if you went not into coding, but into the relation with the customer kind of business analyst, where you will sit down with the customer, understand what he want to do, and then translate that to a procedure, and then translate that to a code. This is where most of the software companies are suffering. They sit with the customer, they think they understand, they go do the job, the customer says, that's not what I asked for. So listening is a very important skill. Good. So again, we spoke earlier about the difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is just hear the sound. You hear the bird, you hear your car noise, but you don't understand them. Listening is the complex process of mindful work. Try to focus, try to get the information, try to understand what's happening or what's going on there. We spoke about listening is different from hearing. Listening is you need to make an effort to hear. You are trying to focus with the guy. Oh, that's listening. Active listening is when you get engaged with the customer. This is when you actually answer him, nod your head, smile, show a sad face, confirm what you heard, ask a question. Let him feel that you guys are talking together. So this is what we call it active listening. Things like, yes, okay, what's happened then? So can you confirm that again? Let me confirm that I understand this. These kind of phrases that you can tell the customer to show him that you are actually listening and you are actively listening. Passive listening is the opposite of that. Passive listening means you are sitting on the table and the guy is talking and you are just nodding your head, looking like not doing anything. So this is something very important, the difference between the two of them. And this is what makes customer trust you. And honestly, based on my experience, if the customer feel that you are taking him seriously, there is no reason for him to angry. There is no reason for him to scream. There is no reason for him to do anything difficult or crazy on you, as long as he feel that you are actually concerned and actually listening to him. And again, why not? You are here to help. You are going to help him anyway, whether you are happy or not happy about it, whether your manager force you or your salary force you, you have to help him at the end. So why don't do it while you are smiling, while you are showing him that you are really interested? Again, to be active listener, ask questions and respond to the speaker. Ask appropriate, relevant question. So you're saying David did that? Are you sure the message was this? Can you tell me if it's happened before or after you did this thing? Whatever. So these are the things that we talked about a little bit ago. It's the way that you can show that you are actually listening to the customer. Again, knowing your customer technical level is something critical. If your customer is strong in technology, he needs a different way of talking to him than if your customer is beginner in technology. Good. When the customer in front of you are using the technology terms and the technology jargon and the acronym, he's telling you, oh, can you put this on the DMZ server? And where is the database field? And are you guys running queries? Can you show me the query? So that means obviously he looked like he knows some information about coding. But when you see the guy saying that, how do you let the computer show us this this information thing? That means he's not that technical. So listen to the way he used these phrases. It will tell you how technical he is. And then this is where it help you explain to him what you're talking about. Again, good listening allow you to understand the customer need, allow you to learn more about his business need and business language. Especially when you go to a fresh company, it's very important for you to know about their business. So listening is one of the best way to learn more about how the business goes. Okay. If you are on face-to-face with the guy, keep an eye contact with him. Nod your head, smile, use these phrases. I know, yes, what's happening. If you are on the phone, again, I know you cannot look into his face, but at least try to stay focused with him. Try to let him hear your sound every few seconds. That way he knows that you are there. The following presentation or the following diagram shows how the call should go. If at the first few seconds of the call, this is when you are introducing yourself and discussing with him. Hi, good morning. Hi, welcome, bye, whatever. Then you ask him what's going on. He start talking. When he start talking, let him talk. And you notice here, the green line didn't go to zero. The red line, sorry, didn't go to zero. There is still some respond from your end. Oh, yes. Or can you give me more? Now, at this point, he finished his story. Good. My laptop, my mouse, my screen, oh, you really, what's happened? He finishes his story. Once he finishes his story, this is when you start picking up the conversation again. So can you tell me, okay, let me summarize it. Let me confirm what's happening. So this is what's happening. This is what's going on. This is what you want. Good. And then here at the end, this is when you can agree on what needs to be done. Good. So I will take your laptop from you. You already done the backup. Good. And we are sure about the backup. So I'll take the laptop from you. The guys will try to fix the Windows, remove the viruses from your computer. If they can, they can. If they can't, they have to format your computer and wipe everything and get fresh. Are you clear about that? Are you okay about that? Yes. You know that if they do this, you will lose all the data on the computer. You will know you lose all the file on the computer. Yes, great. Thank you very much. Done. So this is how the conversation should go. You talk at the beginning a little bit, you talk at the end, and then in the middle when he is explaining the problem, give him the time and listen, actually listen to him. I just said, verify that you're understanding what the customer says. At the end of the conversation when you're talking, so let me verify. Good. So here is what's happening. Here is what we are going to do. Good. Make sure you look if he is understanding you. Sometimes you tell the customer something, he moves his head, but obviously he doesn't understand you. So you can tell the customer, I'm going to format your computer, and he will smile in your face. Nobody will smile when you tell him I'm going to format your computer. He will tell you, where is my data? Where is my file? If the customer is smiling and moving his head without any idea of freaking out or worrying about his data or files, then either he is really a good technician or he doesn't understand you. So make sure the customer understands you when you are talking back to him, because if you are developing a software for him and he is the customer and you listen to him what he wants, and then you told him, I'm going to put you the KPI and the database of the file of the folder of the thing, and he's shaking his head, good, and you're like, yeah, he is convinced. You go do the job, he would come back and like, no, that's not what I want. You tell him, but I told you this is what I will do. He will tell you, yes, but I didn't understand you. So make sure he understands you. Good. Would you like to repeat again? Do you want me to be this? Hopefully it's clear. Can I show it? Can I explain it? If you have doubt, there is no problem of showing the customer what do you mean. Show him an example from another project that you work on. Show him a sample. If you are not sure, don't rush it up. After the meeting finish, tell the customer, great, thank you very much. Go make a small draft in whatever and call the customer again, tell him, here is what it will look like. Here is what it will do like. Just to confirm that the customer actually understands that, because it's easier to spend those 2 hours now while you are still negotiating with the customer the scope of the application than wait until you finish programming, coding, designing, and then you tell you, no, that's not what I want. Now, again, same thing. Paraphrase, make sure you repeat the information in a different way. Verify that the customer understands. Ask him a question to confirm that. Choose a question carefully when you're actively listening to the customer. Make sure you don't ask a question that will make you look like an idiot who has no idea what the customer talked about. Focus, listen to him, ask him to write the questions. All this stuff help you be a good listener. Good. The most important things, again, pay attention to what being said. What? Good. What's the problem of the customer? What is he experiencing? What does he want? What he or she need? Good. The how is how the customer says. So a good listener will be able to understand what the customer is talking about and how is he saying it. Is he angry? Is he sad? Is he excited? That would be very helpful for you. Good. Again, it's just rephrasing most of those conversations. So why do I need to be active listener? It will help you establish a good reputation with the customer. When customers knows that you are listening, they will smile, they will love you, they will like to work with you back. Determine the customer emotion status. When the customer feel that you are listening to him and you are understanding what he wants, even if you don't do what he wants, but when he feel that you understand him, at least it will cool him down instead of going angry and going aggressive on you. So that's a very good thing. It will build trust on the long term. If it's a customer that you deal with him a lot, once you do it for the first few times, the customer will know that you are not here to manipulate him and you are serious to helping him. Next time it will be easier. Next time he will not argue you. The first time maybe he will argue a lot, he will talk a lot, he will challenge you a lot. But as he knows you that you are doing your best, things will be much, much easier as you go. I remember from my work experience at Qatar University with working with one of the big group, the student services for the orientation. When I started with them, they were challenging me a lot, and it was really annoying the amount of challenge that they challenged me. But I took it easy. I treated them well. Whatever they challenged me, I take the time to explain it to them and do it. Once the first year and the second year pass, the guys now trust me. Now they don't challenge me. They call me, Hassan, we need to do this. What's the best way? I tell him this. They says yes, without even me explaining what is this. Hassan, can you take care of this? Yes, yes, thank you, done. They trusted that I will do what the best that I can do for them. And there is no more arguing, there is no more fighting, there is no more stuff going on there. Good. And you can show the customer that you are important for them. Okay. Now, there is another thing that is very important to understand: distractions. Distraction prevent you from listening. Distractions like what? Good. We have pseudo listening, those names. Good. Pseudo listening meaning false listening. Like you are shaking your hand, you are smiling in his face. It looks like you are listening, but you have no idea what the guy talk about. Good. It's like you're just hearing blah, 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 complain, blah, my laptop, my mouse. You have to be careful about this. Good. Do all the talking. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm doing all the talking and you guys are pseudo listening to me. Hopefully not. Good. Don't do all the talking. Let the customer talk. As we saw in the chart before, let him talk, you listen, and then you summarize, finalize the stuff. Selective listening. Selective listening, this is one of the bad things that people do. Customer will be telling the story and you are just waiting to hear the thing that you want to hear. And like, customer, my kid, your kid was on the laptop, that's a problem. Like, Habibi, my kid was bringing me water. You got the point. People are waiting for that phrase to attack the customer. So be careful. We don't want to do that. Focus on excuses. Good defensive listening. Oh my God, this is disaster. As I told you before, I had a very nice lady working with me in Qatar University. When somebody come to her and have any small hint that IT did anything wrong, she will become very defensive, as if that guy is attacking her own family or her own parents. And she will get defenses and she start giving excuse and she start defeating the customer and she start pushing the customer back. And I kept telling her, let him swear at IT as long as you want. Let him do whatever he wants about IT. You are not defending your parents. Let him get that anger out. Of course, with a certain limit of politeness. If he starts saying naughty word or something like this, we'll stop him. But if they go, like, you guys don't know what to do, this is not acceptable, your manager doesn't know what's happening. Okay, let him blow that steam up, let him talk, wait for a few seconds. It's not, the customer doesn't care about your excuse, he cares about what can you do for him. Good. Customer doesn't care if you give him a very good excuse that yesterday there was a fire alarm in the building and they kick us out. He cannot argue with that, but he doesn't care about that. He cares about what can you do to fix my problem. Listen to him, give him the chance, smile in his face, and tell him, listen, first of all, I will tell you what I'm going to do for you. And second, I'll explain to you why that mistake happened. But I will start first with what can I do for you. Good. So here's what I can do for you now, blah, 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 blah. But by the way, yesterday we couldn't finish it because something happened. Good. So that will be done. And again, I'm sorry for that. Good. Ambushing. Ambushing is one of also the technique that you do. You're listening to the customer to wait for him saying something that will make the whole story fall under his head. And then you will say, yeah, I got you. It's your mistake. Again, we are not here to prove that the customer did something wrong. It's not about we proving him doing something wrong. It's not about we attacking him for that purpose. It's just about we need to get him the help. I mean, at the end, if it's something he done wrong, that's fine. Let's see what we can help him. And then you can tell him, by the way, to avoid something like this happening in the future, here is what can I advise to you. Good. Now, the last step is don't get deep into the meaning. Good. Sometimes the customer says something and you will like take the top of that and you don't understand the message behind it. And you're like, he said you are not good, he's attacking me. Take it easy. Try to understand the note or the thing behind what's going on. So hopefully these stuff are clear. Good. Again, the distraction. Good. Distractions interrupt what's happening between you and the customer. Could be your phone ringing, could be your iPad flashing, could be something like this distracting you. Third eye syndrome. This is very common as well, especially in big IT help desk, where you are sitting in a cube office and the next cube have somebody and the front cube have somebody and the back cube have somebody. When we used to work at BlackBerry in some places, we will have like 7 or 8 people around us. And you are listening to the 7 conversations at the same time. Good. You can hear the guys around you. And for your bad luck, your neighbor help desk guy got the funny customer, and they're talking about yesterday football match between Manchester United and Liverpool and how the game was cancelled. And you are stuck with that crazy customer who like, where do I do? Good. And this will get you frustration and you start enjoying the football talk more than listening to your customer. You have to stay focused with the customer. You have to be focused with the customer. Jumping ahead. Sometimes we know what the customer is saying because we've seen this like a 50 million times, but give it a few seconds. Let the customer talk for a few seconds, and then there's a polite way of cutting him if he's taking too much long. If the customer is telling you, like, I was working in office and this is happening, give him 30 seconds to 1 minute to talk. If you find him like taking too much to do it, tell him, let me interrupt you for 1 second here and let me try to tell you what's happening. We've seen similar issue multiple times. Let me see if your issue is one of those situations. Can I ask you a couple of questions and give me the answer to help me? 1, is that happening to you? Is that happening to you? Is that happening to you? Then you got him to the point. And he says, yes, yes, yes. Oh, great. So now I understand totally what's your problem. Good. Now you skipped him talking for 15 minutes talking about these symptoms. You can do that. Let him talk for 1 or 2 minutes, then interrupt him. Tell him, I think this is one of the common issues that we see every day. I think this is one of the problems that happened last week after Microsoft did some update. Can I ask you a couple of questions to confirm if that's the situation? Then the customers feel that you are still interested in him, not like you are shutting him up to finish. No, don't jump ahead. Emotional filter. Again, emotion of the customer is very critical for you to help him, because if you understand how the customer feel, this could actually help a lot solving the problem. Customers might be worried about their exam, and that's why make them angry and shouting on you, because they're worried that they might miss the exam. So he doesn't care about fixing the laptop, he cares about how he can do his exam. So if you told him, I can get you the exam file and we can help you submit it today, he doesn't care if the laptop stays there for 6 months. Good. So make sure you understand his emotions, so that will help you diffuse the bomb before he gets angry on you. Good. Mental side trip. I love you guys. Most of you guys, if not all of you, are on this right now. Are you guys with me or you are daydreaming? Good. Maha, are you daydreaming? Oh, Maha is here. Alhamdulillah. Good. The rest of you guys are daydreaming about food and burger and what you are eating for today on iftar and what kind of food your parents are preparing. Good. I'm not sure what my wife is cooking today. Okay. Yeah, now I'm thinking about it and I cannot think about the class anymore. Good. Daydreaming. Don't do daydreaming. Talking to other. Good. Sometimes we as a help desk want to help as many people as we can. So there is somebody in front of me talking to me, and then somebody came, and with that guy talking, I'll turn my face to the other side and like, don't do that, and I'll come back to the customer. Like, yes, go ahead, and like, it's very distracted. So if you want to do this for whatever reason, just smile in the customer face. Sorry, 1 second. I just have to interrupt you. Muhammad, leave that computer here. The customer is coming to pick it up. Don't do that. Do this. Good. Thank you. Finished up quickly. Customer's coming. I'm really, really sorry. I was waiting for him for half an hour to come just to do this work. The customer is coming. Please go ahead. Don't just let the customer keep talking and you jump to your friend and say, don't do that and come back. I know we do this in our friend life. You will be talking to your sister on the phone or your friend on the phone, and your mom come in and your friend is talking in front of her. Mom, can we get biryani for the lunch today? Okay, great, thank you, mom. And yes, Sarah, continue. Good. We don't do that in business. Okay. Again, this is like a summary for what we talk about. Take a note. That's fine. Be specific about who, about what was said, about when the problem happened, about where the problem happened, about how severe and widespread the problem, about how the problem affecting the customer, about why determining one solution is identified. Make sure you understand these stuff. Good. Who is experiencing the problem? Is it just you? Is it your team? Is it your son? What's going on? What the product or service is involved? Is it happening on your laptop or in your desktop as well? Is it happening on your phone or on your laptop as well? Your customer is not able to receive email. Are you receiving the emails on your phone and your laptop, or not? None of them, or on one of them? Good. When it's happening, is it happening always, or is it happening in the morning or in the afternoon or before or after doing something? Where it's happening? Do you receive the email in the office but you don't receive them at home, or are you receiving them at home but not in the office? Good. It make a difference. Yes, it make a difference. If the customer cannot open the application from the home but he can open it in the office, maybe it's a VPN issue. If the customer can open it from home and he's not opening from the office, I don't know. You need to find some software technician to fix that. Good. How severe or how widespread it is? Is it only you or other people in your team are getting the problem? Good. How is it affecting you? Is it severe for the customer? Can he still do some work today while we fix it, or no, he's completely cut off work? Again, why do you think this solution will help? Why is determining once the solution is defined? Can we identify why it's this happening and what's going on? Okay. Again, it will tell you what is going on. So that's why benefit of listening. And again, knowing what to listen for. Listen involves keeping eyes open, looking for nonverbal clues. Over the phone, remember, silence can tell you a lot. If the customer is quiet, that means he doesn't understand or he's not engaged. Like what's happening with me now. I'm keep trying to get you guys to say yes, to say somebody says somebody says anything. Good. Dead zone. Good. Avoid temptation to view silence as acceptance. Yes, sometimes you guys are silent, and that will make me think, alhamdulillah, everybody's understanding. If those guys weren't understanding, they will say something. Usually it's the opposite. If you guys are not saying anything, that means you don't understand me, and I have to repeat and repeat and repeat. Are you guys understanding? No clues. Good. Only Maha and Muhammad are awake. Alhamdulillah. Good. After Ramadan, you guys will bring coffee with me and you show me the coffee on the camera before we start the class. Good. Now Ramadan, you guys are okay to sleep. After Ramadan, as soon as you enter the classroom, you show me the coffee mug. Okay. And every 5 seconds, you show me that it's getting less and less and less on the chat. Okay. That way I know you guys are awake. Clear? Good. Anybody have question about active listening?